Hi friends, welcome to confirmation today. It's Pastor Matt here.
Miss Amy, we're so happy to see you, although we'd much rather if you were in all these pews here. It's pretty quiet in the building.
But we want to say hi and we want to connect with you and we care about you. And so we're bringing a little bit of confirmation into your home today.
Yeah, we should wish you a happy Easter.
Christ is risen.
Christ is risen indeed.
Hallelujah. So we thought we would sing one of your favorite songs. I hope it's one of your favorites. Pharaoh, Pharaoh. And I know you know the words to the chorus. And I know you know the dance. And you probably know some of the words to the verse. So I hope you sing along with us and dance along. Especially do it in your home. Who's watching you? Get your parents to do it with you. Here we go. Pharaoh, Pharaoh. Oh, baby, let my people go. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Pharaoh, Pharaoh. Oh, baby, let my people go. Oofda. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Well, a burning bush told me just the other day that I should come over here and stay. Get God's people out of Pharaoh's hand and lead them on to the promised land. I'm singing Pharaoh, Pharaoh. Oh. Sing, Pharaoh, Pharaoh. Oh, baby, let my people go. Yeah, sure, you betcha. But me and God's people coming to the Red Sea, and Pharaoh's army coming after me. I raised my rod, stuck it in the sand, and all of God's people walked across dry land. I'm singing Pharaoh, Pharaoh. Oh. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, oh baby, let my people go. Oofta, yeah, sure you bet. Last verse. Pharaoh's army wasn't coming too. So what do you think that I did do? I raised my rod and I cleared my throat. And all of Pharaoh's army did the dead man's float. I'm singing Pharaoh, Pharaoh, oh baby, let my people go. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Pharaoh, Pharaoh. Oh, baby, let my people go. Oofda. Yeah, sure, you betcha. You know, that song is from the book of Exodus in the Old Testament, but it really connects well with Easter because the song is all about God's saving love for us. God has always been about saving and loving God's people, and God did that in a supreme way in Jesus Christ, in his death and resurrection. There we see the epitome of God's saving love for us.
Well
up next, thanks Amy. All right, up next is Bible by heart.
Oh yeah.
There's no sense not putting the Bible in our hearts during this time. We live by God's word.
Maybe if you can prove that you know them, then maybe we could have some food delivered to you.
Or when this is all over, I'll take them out.
Okay.
Yeah, this
He
will
really
end.
loves people.
I'm believing this ends at some time. Okay, so let's do all four of them. If you need to look them up, you can look them up later, but see if you can just say them with us now, okay? So here we go. The first one, Psalm 119, 105. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. All right, hope you did pretty good on that one. We've been doing that for a long time.
Yep.
Next up.
Next up starts with the word you.
You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might.
Deuteronomy 6:5.
Okay, the next one is trust. It's from Proverbs. Here we go. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own insight. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Proverbs 3:5 and 6. Okay, and the last one's short.
Nice and short.
Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:1. 4 great Old Testament Bible verses Those are great for us at any season of life. They're great for us right now. So keep putting those in your heart, friends. Okay, well, our topic for today has to do with prayer. And so I want to talk just a moment about prayer. Prayer is a really, really important part of my life. It's an important part of every day. Every day I spend at least 30 minutes in prayer. And very often I didn't know that I do that because I write in a prayer journal for right about 30 minutes every single day. And if I don't do it, I miss it. I do believe that prayer changes God and it changes our world and it gives more love and compassion and goodness out there to work with. I do believe that on a spiritual level. But I think it's maybe more important that prayer changes me. I feel changed by my time in prayer. This is a great time for you to explore different ways to pray. Maybe it's writing a prayer out. Maybe you write for 5 minutes a day. Maybe you write 3 things that you're thankful for. But prayer changes us. It affects our lives. I know I feel more peace and goodness and love in my life when I'm spending time praying. And I need that for my own well-being and for the goodness of others. We had one woman in our congregation. We'll call her Sue. She was invited to be part of our prayer vigil between Good Friday and Easter morning. And she was a little reluctant. She said she'd give it a try. She wasn't really feeling into it. And when she went into that 30 minutes of prayer, she did hers on Saturday night. When she went into that time, she was grumpy and she just wasn't feeling it. And she came out of that 30 minutes of time and she told us how much better she felt by dedicating that time and connecting with God. This is a time when it's hard for us to connect with one another, but we have no problem connecting with God right now. Just directly one-on-one with God. You can do this right now in your life. And one of those ways to pray, we're going to talk about today, it's with a prayer labyrinth.
Yeah, so obviously we're recording this because we can't be together. We need to follow the Safer at Home order that our governor put out. So we need to practice. That's why Pastor Matt and I are staying far apart. But we still can be outside. And our town happens to have a great resource for prayer. It is the Labyrinth at Peace Park, which is behind Seminary Apartments. If you head from the church and you're heading toward Main Street, when you get to Church Street, you turn left and then you go right, and it's right there. You can actually see it from right there. And it's really wonderful. If you haven't ever walked a labyrinth, this is a really great time to do it because you can still do it. You only need to be careful about if there's somebody already there. You would need to wait for them to be done because it's not possible to do the labyrinth with somebody else without violating the 6 feet apart. So you could do it as a family, which is what we're really hoping you're going to do. But I want to tell you a quick story. The first time I walked a prayer labyrinth was in Madison. I was a member of a church in Madison that had a prayer labyrinth, and so I did it when I was a member there. But then in May 2013, my husband got really sick and was in the hospital at St. Mary's, and they have a prayer labyrinth. And so there was one day where I was feeling a little stressed about the fact that we had a baby who was 1.5, that was Oscar, and he was in the hospital, and I was trying to work, and things were crazy. And I went down to that prayer labyrinth, and I just walked the labyrinth. And it's nice because it's not a maze. It has a path that you go, and it's just one way. It takes you to the middle, and then you reverse it to get out. And it just helped me feel calm and more peaceful, and really helped me just let go of a lot of the stress that I was feeling. So, and I tend to, my mind really wanders when I pray. I was telling Pastor Matt, I'll start to pray, and then all of a sudden I realize I'm thinking about what's for dinner and what can we do for fun tomorrow, or if there are any good movies coming out, and maybe what's going to happen in the next episode of whatever show I'm watching. But when I do the labyrinth, I just think peace when I breathe in and love when I breathe out, and it just helps me focus to be calm and quiet and just listen to God in my life.
You know, so often we think about praying as talking, like what Amy was talking about, like we have to focus our minds, but we can also pray with our bodies. And prayer labyrinth it's a way to pray with your whole body. mind, body, and soul. You pray all together. So it's a really unifying way to pray. And it's not about words. It's not about what do I say to God. Sometimes we got like, how do I do this? What do I say? What do I need from God? And sometimes we don't know. And so you can even go on a prayer walk in your own neighborhood and just be intentional about breathing and paying attention to God as you walk. But there's something about the prayer labyrinth. It's thousands of years old. People, Christians and beyond Christians, have been walking prayer labyrinths for thousands of years. And there's something about the way it connects mind, body, and soul. So we really commend it to you. When I arrived here 10 years ago in 2010, I realized we had this land, this field out here, and I thought about, well, we should put in a prayer labyrinth because it had been valuable in my life. And then I learned that we had a group of citizens, not connected with any one church, working to make a prayer labyrinth for the whole community. And so your church, St. John's, was a part of making that prayer labyrinth happen. We helped to fund and put in labor on making that prayer labyrinth here in town. So it's a great resource for everyone. All people are spiritual people. You don't have to be a Christian to use it. And of course, as Christians, we use it as a way to connect to Christ and to pray to God.
We have sent some links to some YouTube videos, very short, minute and a half, definitely under 2 minutes, or 3 videos that have been sent to families. One talks about the history and walking of labyrinths, and then one talks about labyrinths and churches. And then there's a third one that is how to pray in a labyrinth. And that one is really interesting because there's not really a right or wrong way to do it. And I often have approached a labyrinth and thought, okay, I need to be, walking really quietly and solemnly. And the woman in this video is like, no, if that's not how you walk, like if you need to dance and twirl, you go ahead and dance and twirl. So you do it in the way that works the best for you. And know that that's okay too. But when you get to the center, you do want to pause and be a little still. So make sure you watch those and then head over to that labyrinth. If you can head over there before Wednesday night with your parents, that would be really great. We also have provided what's called a finger labyrinth. So it's a PDF that we've sent families. You can print it out, or you could probably open it on your computer and you just use your finger to trace, and it has the same effect. So if you can't make it over there, if you could still do it before you meet with your small groups on Wednesday, that would be really awesome.
And then, of course, make use of the prayer labyrinth anytime, safely, safe physical distance. So if you don't get there before Wednesday, try in the next week to use that prayer labyrinth. And I'll be praying that you experience God's peace and God's love as you pray in that way.
As I noted, with the labyrinth, you really can't do it without violating the safe distancing. So if you go and there's it'd be really awesome if you showed up and there was another confirmation family there getting ready to walk, but just keep your distance, wait for them to be done. So you walk into the middle and then you wind your way back out. And that way we can be honoring this, but still connecting with our faith and connecting with this new way of praying, which is really awesome.
And I think I've walked it in 10 minutes. You walk in, you walk out, and that's at a leisurely, slow pace. So it does not take long to do this either. You don't need a lot of time.
All right.
The other thing about this week is that you're meeting in small groups. Is that right?
Yeah, 6:30. I'll send an email too with the link for where all those meeting places are. But if you've been going and meeting every week with your small group, it'll be at the same time, 6:30 Wednesday night. And just for the kids, parents, we really want you to have a conversation about prayer labyrinth with your student, and you'll be getting the same guide that the small groups are. We'd love for you to have that conversation with them. But when they head into their meeting space with their small group, we want that to be a sacred time for that small group to really connect and be together. So help your kid log on, wait, and when their small group leaders show up, you can go, have 30 minutes to do whatever you want. Maybe you do the finger labyrinth on your own while they're with their small group.
And what a blessing that we have other mentors and supporters in our life and in our faith, like your small group leaders, and they'll be ready to take care of your child at that time.
All right, I think we have a couple announcements, right? We haven't done those.
We haven't done any announcements? Oh, we haven't done some announcements.
Yeah.
One announcement I want you to know about is the prayer at 3:12 p.m. every day. I hope you join us in that. That we're going to get our whole church praying together for 1 minute every day. 3:12 p.m. You're not on a phone or a device. You don't need the internet. Just pray wherever you are. I set my phone to 3:12 p.m. I get a notice. I stop. I stand up. I pray however I want to.
You could even sing Sanctuary.
There you
or
go.
hum it in your head. You don't have to sing out loud. Don't worry.
Another announcement. I am now on Snapchat.
So am I.
And I'm still learning. And Miss Amy's on Snap. She's been on Snapchat. So I've been on for like a week, and I'm learning how to use it, and it's been fun. I had a beard and a mohawk the other day when I was
Maybe I'll send it off to
snapping
you.
you. Oh, Lord. So I invite you to find me on Snapchat or however that works. Try to find me. And you can snap to me. Is that what it's called? Snap, people?
Yeah, send a snap.
You can send me a snap or an email or a text, and I'm asking you for big questions. It's like the Q&A times that we have at confirmation, and in the weeks to come, we'll tackle some of your questions in this time together.
So,
just these
like-
short videos.
Like, did Jesus really, literally come back to life?
Yeah, we can
That
talk
would be
about
a
it.
big question.
Absolutely. You know, or if you have questions about our 8th grade friend Connor who died, ask me those questions, and we can talk about that, matters of life and death. So I look forward to getting your questions. Send me a snap or a text or an email, however you want to be in touch with me. I think that's it, but we need to sing Sanctuary.
Yeah, speaking of Sanctuary, it's not even 3:12 yet.
Now I know that you know the words to this song. So I'm glad you've joined us for this brief time of confirmation. Blessings on your prayer labyrinth walk, on your small group time. We are praying for you. And my friends, I love you and I miss you. And we are still here for you. And God is absolutely there for you. Let's sing. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Nice, Miss Amy. Wow. Peace be with you.